Good evening, everyone. Today is the 22nd of July, and we're going to be talking about process mastery. And that's kind of a weird term. I'm sure some of you got on the call this morning and thought, or this evening, and thought, process mastery, what is she talking about? But it is extremely important when we're talking about managing our doTERRA businesses, and even when we're talking about our lives, because the process, the things that we need to do on a daily basis to be successful are really important. And if we don't understand what that process is, or we haven't really broken it down and codified it, we can wind up really spinning our wheels on a regular basis and not seeing the success that we want to. So today's class is about process mastery. But we're also going to talk about the essential oils that are going to help you with those processes. It's important for us to begin to think about when we do certain things during the day that we add essential oils into that routine so that we're basically being supported in the work that we're doing. And part of this class is actually going to be repeated tonight or done in a slightly different way because I'm doing a 12-week series on goal setting, and tonight's class is going to be week number 7. So if you catch the class now, you'll get it in a little sort of a different format, and then if you want to get on tonight, you can get on at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 8:30 a.m. Singapore time. And for all of you that are on the East and Southeast Asia, if you're a morning person and you'd like to hop on at that time, that'll be great. Both today's call, this morning's call or this evening's call, and the call for goal setting will be recorded, and they're going to be posted in the different Facebook pages. But here's something completely new. We're going to be posting these, actually we already did it. We posted all of the videos in our team YouTube page, which is kind of interesting. Now the team YouTube page has kind of a funky name to it. So before I get off, I want to make sure that I get the name for you. We're going to be posting all the links, and I hope some of you are getting the emails that are advertising this call and the call this evening. If you're not getting an email and you would like to get one as a reminder on a regular basis, please send through the chat today your email address, and I'll make sure that you get invited. We sent out, I want to say, close to 1,500 emails last night, but we are a group that's almost, 15,000 strong, so that's only 10% of the team. So if you're interested in receiving the email, just let me know and I'll make sure that you get on. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen with you. Oops. Okay, so today we're talking about process mastery. I think most of you know me. We're kind of a small group today, which is interesting. I'm sure there's a lot of live meetings going on wherever you are. But I just want you to know that I'm glad that you're here. I'm Elena Jordan. I've actually been hosting this call for 6.5 years. And here's another thing that I'm going to tell you. Not only did we open up the videos for the goal setting, we actually opened up all the videos for the past 6.5 years, with few exceptions. There are a few that were just totally non-compliant, and I couldn't open those up, but we've opened up all the videos. So we'll be posting that YouTube link, and we'll be posting the links to those videos on the different Facebook pages so you'll be able to see them on a regular basis. I think that's going to be a great addition for our team. Today we're talking about the 6 simple steps to process mastery. Now, why is this important? So process mastery is the idea that you will do things in a certain order. You're going to repeat the steps, and you're going to do the steps over and over again, which is kind of like what? Dancing. So learning to do or learning to build a doTERRA business and being able to share with others and to serve them in their needs is a lot like dancing. Now you may be thinking, how can that possibly be? The reason it's like dancing is that we actually are able to learn different steps and then repeat them on a regular basis so that we have success. My goal for you, and I feel my job, is to create a process that is so easy that anyone can repeat it and it can be taught over and over again. Now, I have many, many mentors that I work with, some of which don't even know that I'm alive because I just follow them on different social media sites, but some that I'm actually engaged with and I talk to on a regular basis. And this is a recurring theme with them. If you have heard the name Elise Chedevy, she's actually our #1 distributor in terms of size and rank. So she is a triple presidential diamond. And I want to believe that she's doing something right if she's gotten to that rank. And at the recent diamond meeting, she spoke to the audience and she talked about process mastery. Now, she didn't call it process mastery, but she did call it the 6 crucial weekly activities for success. And I'm going to outline those activities for you today. I'm going to talk about process mastery, and then in the weeks ahead, we're going to break down each one of those steps, and we're going to figure out how we can actually make them work for us. So the essential oils ideas that are in this presentation are taken from the book, Essential Oils Healthcare for Today. And you're going to see a lot more about this book and also updates for this book in the next couple of weeks. It's my goal, folks, to write 3 more books. Yes, 3 more. I want to get to 5 books. That's sort of my goal. One of the books that I'm going to be writing is about essential oils. Another one is about business, working in an MLM business or multi-level marketing, direct sales. And then the third one is actually financial security. So that's a key idea in my life. It always has been the idea that you really do have to manage your own finances wisely. And how do we do that if we work in an industry where our checks go up and down, and sometimes they go up, 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 and then they drop a little bit? Where are you in the process of getting yourself out of debt? And then we're going to talk a little bit about those 3 things. So those are I'm putting out my goals to you. My goal is to write 3 more books. And I want to make sure that in the next couple of years, at least I'm going to start the first one actually right away. And then the other 2 are going to come close behind. But in the meantime, this is what I've got for you. The cool thing about this book, and I know it's an older book, and some of you are saying, it doesn't have all the new oils. You're absolutely right. It does not. But what does have, it has the basic oils that are going to be available in any of the new GAC markets. So for example, the Philippines is going through a process of opening their offices now. Their soft launch will be in the next couple of weeks. And only the products that are available in that office are available in this book. And they're talked about in detail. So if you're talking about launching in the Philippines, talking to people in the Philippines, this is a great book for you to be using. And that's a market that's going to evolve over a period of time. But there are other markets that are going to be opening where you are, whether it's Thailand or Indonesia or other parts of the Middle East, parts of Southeast Asia that haven't opened yet. We want Vietnam. We want to make sure that each one of those groups, as they turn from a GAC to a fully open market, that we have materials that are available to them and they don't feel like they must order from the United States. Okay, so here, there's a little diagram. I love this, stepping out of your comfort zone, your doTERRA comfort zone. So your comfort zone is a little circle on the left, but the magic is where the big circle is. And really the big circle is, as you can see, there's a lot of activities and a lot of stuff in there. And if you can just either move yourself a little towards the big circle or begin to intersect with the big circle, you're going to find a lot more success. So let's look first at the 6 crucial weekly activities that you need for success, the processes that you need to master to be able to be successful in this business. And then we're going to break it down into 6 steps for mastering a process. And I think that's going to help you. And then we're going to talk about the oils that you're going to need in each of those 6 steps. Okay, so number 1, these are the 6 crucial weekly activities for success. And this is the process you must master for success in doTERRA. So step number 1 is you need to be hosting an introduction to oils class. I would suggest that you need to be hosting 1 per week and 1 per week in the same spot. And the reason we want to do it in the same spot is that people begin to know and associate us with that spot. So it can be in your home, it can be in a coffee shop, it can be anywhere that you like, it can be a work sharing space or anything else. It can be outdoors in a park, but just that you're there every single solitary week and you're doing an intro to oils class. Here's the other thing. I want you to keep that class really short. I want you to keep it to 30 to 45 minutes and no more. And I want you to practice doing that class until you can do it in a really quick way. When I'm talking about intro to oils, I'm basically talking about the Family Essentials Kit, going through those 10 oils, knowing them, understanding them, and being able to present them quickly. Second thing you need to be doing is a basic business training. Now, I would suggest to you, if I was going to do this, and this is what Elise Chedevi is talking about, is you want to do your intro to oil class in about 45 minutes, not serving a single thing, maybe just water. And then in the second 15 minutes, the last 15 minutes, you can say to people, we're going to be serving some snacks and doing a little basic business training if you'd like to stay. In that way, you've basically gotten people to stay with you for 1 hour, but you've also given them some snacks. And usually when you give them the snacks or when you offer them the snacks, they will absolutely stay. But don't serve the food right from the beginning because they will leave or they will eat and not pay any attention. The next thing you want to be doing is doing a wellness consult. So you're scheduling wellness consults whenever people purchase oils at an oils class. They should be about 45 to 60 minutes long, and you're doing them at the customer's home as much as is possible. If not, you're doing it in a public place, but make sure that you're getting to the wellness consults. The next is continuing education. Now, continuing education can be what I like to call a rotating program of about 8 weeks. So things like Essential Oils 101, the power behind LLV, healthy weight and lifestyle, emotional wellness, and so on. And we're going to talk about those more in the next couple of weeks. But the idea that you're rotating through a prescribed group of continuing education classes. Now, this is the model that I use on Oil Camp. So Introduction to Oils, obviously, is Oil Camp. Basic business training comes right after, at the end of Oil Camp. Wellness consults are anybody who's gone through Oil Camp. I would then contact them and say, would you like a wellness consult? Can I schedule one with you? My continuing education is on Oil Camp alumni and runs through a series of 8 weeks of classes. Then I have a team call, which I'm on right now, right? And then I have a strategy session with key builders. Usually I do that on Mondays. That's what I call my mentoring day, but you could also call it a strategy session. And then finally contacting and follow up. This is where I'm contacting new people that I want to enroll, that I think will be good for the team, that I have been connected to through one way or the other, and finally following up. So following up with the people that have purchased, following up with the people that I've either enrolled, or following up with people who haven't enrolled and I want to keep in contact with. So if you want to take a screenshot of this, that would be great. But like I said, we're going to be going into this in much more detail. And we're going to also have something that we're going to call a weekly strategy worksheet, which is going to help you to answer those questions for yourself. So that if you're trying to schedule some of these events on your calendar, then perhaps, your time is limited. You are working another job. I was actually speaking to a lovely lady the other day through a chat who's a nurse. So is it hard for her to schedule time to do all these things? It is. But if we're organized and we focus and we block out our time, we should be able to squeeze in all of these activities. Okay, so now let's talk about the 6 steps that you need to build your process. To get to those 6 steps, these are the things you're going to need. So get out your pencil and paper. You can take screenshots if you want. This is all going to be recorded, but these are your 6 steps that you want. So number 1 is setting up your action plan. So let's go back to the example of the nurse. Setting up your action plan basically means that you're going to look at your calendar and your week as it currently stands, block out the time that you need for working at other things, and then you're going to block out the time that you're going to put in your doTERRA activities. You should not just expect that you're going to magically have the time or make the time to do doTERRA. So business, this is what I would call a business action plan of selling doTERRA, can help set you on the right track. It's a list of all the actions. So we saw the list. Now we're actually going to schedule it onto our calendar. An action plan details the concrete steps you need to attain your goals, usually covering the current quarter of the year. So in the case of the nurse, and I'm going to go back to her again, she actually works 2 different schedules. She works a day schedule and a night schedule. So fairly complicated, folks, probably more complicated than most of us. But what I'm encouraging her to do is actually to have almost like 2 action plans, one when she's working at night and one when she's working during the day. So a timetable for the tasks. So when she looks at her ideal week and she's working during the day, she's seeing where she's going to be able to schedule in those activities. Of course, we need to schedule in things like sleep or rest and exercise and eating, of course. We've got to make time for all of those things. But within those parameters, we want to make sure that we're scheduling in our activities. We're going to write it out. We're not just going to imagine it. We're not going to just envision it. We have to write this out, because when we envision it and we don't put it down on paper, we're less likely to have success. If we have it down on paper in some sort of a planner or a notebook, and we refer to it on a regular basis, then when we wake up on Monday morning and we see, oh, what is it I'm supposed to be doing today? We clearly understand what are the big 3 activities that I need to get done. You also want to encourage your team to do this. You can fill out a weekly preview for yourself and hold regular meetings with the people on your team, either upline or downline, so that you're encouraging them to do the same activities that you are. Upline, if you're having any struggles, I'm trying to do this, I don't really understand, I can't work it out, can you help me? And you want to encourage your team members to have a plan for themselves. So for planning, what's the blend that I like? So if I was planning for the end of August, so August 28th, right? I would basically use a diffuser blend of the following: 3 drops of tangerine, 3 drops of lemongrass, and 3 drops of cinnamon. I'm sorry, spearmint. Spearmint. Why do I like that blend? Well, of course, I always love citrus and spearmint and mints, because they wake up the body and they keep me feeling happy. When I don't have a diffuser blend like that going on in my office, I can sometimes get bogged down with the details and begin to feel a little stressed out. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday of last week, I was working and I had my assistant in the office and I was tired and I really wasn't doing a good job. And I just began to feel like, almost hopeless, which I don't usually feel. It's not an emotion that's common to me. And then I put on my diffuser, I took a few deep breaths, I slowed down a little bit because I realized I was trying to do everything at once, and I was able to make more progress. I also didn't work till 10 o'clock that night because I realized I wasn't at my peak. I was tired because I had been traveling. The following morning, I got up early and then I started all over again. I did much better on Friday. And Friday, we actually wound up polishing off a lot of tasks. So if you're planning your schedule, you're working in your planner, you're working with your calendar, try this blend. Okay, time blocking. This is critical. This works best when your entire work day is scheduled. So what I do is I usually get up in the morning and I draw arrows across a calendar that basically says 8 to 9, 9 to 10. So in my calendar for today, I have from 9 to 10, I'm going to be on the call with you. Then I have to do a little bit of driving because I have to actually drop off my son somewhere because he's going to work and we're sharing a car at the moment. Then I'll be back and I'll be taking mentoring calls and I'll be making some calls to clients to follow up. I'm also going to be placing some orders because I've had some orders that I haven't put in for the month yet, and it's coming up on month end, right? So today is already the 22nd. I want to make sure that I'm doing that early enough in the month so I can begin to see the results and see the team coming together and what's the final rank at the end of the month. So what does time blocking do? It helps you to get more done, so you have more free time to do the things that you enjoy. And then what I'll suggest to you is, it's not, many of you have said, I don't like to be so strict, or I don't like to be on such a calendar. But what time blocking does is it allows you to do the thing you need to do when you are at your peak. So if your peak hours tend to be in the morning, which mine are, you get up and you start your work. If your peak hours are in the evening, then you're holding off and you're scheduling those things till maybe after dinner or later in the day. It doesn't matter when you're doing those things, when you're doing your peak activities, but when you need to do thinking or anything creative or something where you're using a lot of brain power, you need to do it in the hours where you're at your peak. However, we can't be making telephone calls in the middle of the night. That's not fair, right? We also can't, we can be maybe perhaps drafting emails, but not sending them. We don't want to be sending text messages in the middle of the night unless you're sending to someone on the other side of the globe. But the idea is that we're doing our time blocking so that we're getting the most out of the hours that we're working. So how people time block their days varies depending on their needs, but the beauty of time blocking is that it can work for anyone, from a stay-at-home mom to a busy business owner. And the only thing that varies is what their blocks contain. If I'm time blocking, I want my brain to be clear. So I have a brain fog blend, right? Including peppermint, lemon, rosemary, and frankincense. We know that rosemary is great for memory. Lemon is great for a pick-me-up. Frankincense is terrific for brain function. Peppermint is also a wake-me-up and a driver of the other oils. So 8 drops of peppermint, 5 drops of lemon, 3 drops rosemary, 2 and 3 drops of frankincense. I like the idea of using something that's a little bit different. So I don't always use florals. I don't always use mints. I try to vary what it is that I'm using to keep myself current. And I do a lot of planning now, much more than I did before, and I'm seeing amazing results. I'm even getting things done in my house that haven't been done for the longest time, and I'll talk to you about that in a minute. Okay, modeling. Okay, so this is a really good one. You want to model the behavior of other successful people, not just anyone, someone who now occupies the role you would like to be in. You can visualize yourself in their role, or you can get to know them via social media. That's when I talk about mentoring, or someone, I have these mentors. Now, here's what you need to resist. Resist the urge to follow 10 gurus. You'll only confuse yourself and waste time using a menu approach, picking only what you like. No one is perfect, so you want to pick someone who most closely matches your values and lifestyle. Now, while it may be interesting to watch a mom of 7 children plan her day and go through the motions and so on, if you are a mom with only 1 child, or you're not a mom, maybe you're single, it might not be the best person for you to follow. You want to find a person that most closely matches where you want to be on your next step, right? Models are a great way to simulate scenarios. When you see someone doing something you would like to try, plan it out in your head first. Next, write out the first few steps you'll need to take to implement that goal. And yes, there's a typo in that line for anybody who saw it. That's what I did with oil camp. I heard about a bigger leader in doTERRA who was doing oil camps. I contacted her and asked her some questions. Then I did my research and decided it would be good for the team. Remember, modeling will best serve you if you stick to one thing and complete it. So use modeling, my friends. It does not have to be someone on your team. It can be someone on another team. It can be in a social media group, but pick one. Don't pick 10. Okay. When we are modeling, we want to cleanse our thoughts, right? Because we want to be able to think clearly about what it is the person is telling us and how we can implement it in our own team. So we're going to observe, right? Maybe write out an action plan for ourselves and then implement it if it's correct. Peppermint and spearmint, again, are 2 mints, and then fennel. This is an interesting one. Fennel tends to clear the mind, can kind of clear the thoughts, can help us to meditate or really begin to focus. We're sort of priming our minds. Is this a right path for me? Now, what I'm not advocating is that everybody go out and start an oil camp. It might be too stressful, but what you can do is you can use some of the systems that are already available in our team to begin to build your team. And then once your team is bigger, you can then begin to do it on yourself. So you should be using things like Oil Camp. You should be using things like Essential Conversation. Use the resources that are already available in our team. Make sure your team is getting onto next call, or make sure they're getting onto this Zoom class. Make sure they're seeing the videos, but lead them down a path. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Don't lead them everywhere. 1, 2, 3. The more clear you are in what the process is, the easier it's going to be for them. Okay, contact and create relationships. So you want to build good business relationships, right? As with all relationships, the most important factor in building strong business relationships is trust. So when we talk about business relationships, we can be talking about cross-line relationships or downline or upline. You want to show up not only as a leader, but someone who can be trusted. You want to be easy to talk to and a great listener. People will feel your reliability and makes them more secure about doing business with you. And listening is the number one thing that we have to work on continuously. I'm not gifted necessarily as a listener, but I've tried to develop that skill and just close my mouth and open my ears and really hear what the person is talking about. You're serving the other person. So you need to have long-term customers and good business relationships that will carry you through challenging times or tight deadlines, as well as relationships with other doTERRA wellness advocates to share struggles, resources, and best practices. This is one of the many reasons we attend things like convention and leadership. And I know that some of you are excellent in terms of reaching out to other teams and brainstorming or using someone from another team as an accountability partner. Lorinda Walker, who is here in New Jersey, is a team member that I will often call or bounce ideas off of. She's a person who attends a lot of seminars, many more than I've ever attended. And I'll sometimes ask her, was that worth it? Should I attend? Can you give me some feedback about it? And I get some great feedback from her. And because she's a diamond leader, I really trust that I'm getting feedback from someone who, you know, is really working hard at this business. Business relationships are just like any other relationship. They're going to require some effort to maintain, and they must be mutually beneficial. So don't be just a taker. Don't be calling up other leaders and saying, hey, can you help me? You have to be able to offer something back and forth. And at the very least, it's a conversation that you're talking to the other person about what their struggles are, or would you be willing to meet with me? You know, those are the types of things that I think that you can easily negotiate with another leader. Be willing to give, share, and support, not just take or receive. Okay, a friendship blend or a business relationship blend. You can try using this when you get into a meeting with someone. This can also be for follow-ups. It can be when you are contacting someone for the first time. Lemon, again, our peppermint. I have our peppermint today in almost every blend that I put up here because I want it to be that kind of wake me up and focus essential oil. Lemongrass, eucalyptus, grapefruit, and wild orange. So a lot of citrus, some peppermint, again, our lemongrass for that concentration, brain wake me up, focus. Eucalyptus for good breathing, because you want to make sure that you're breathing and really listening in harmony with the other person. Number 5, sales. Now, sales can sometimes be a dirty word. I know some people do not like it, but I'm going to suggest to you that if you're not selling the product, you're not building your business. And sales are an important part of our business. But it can be a common challenge. If sales or enrolling is something you struggle with in your business, it can be helpful to spend some time getting a better understanding of the sales process and fine-tuning your sales skills. So I know some of you really struggle with enrolling. I know I've heard it again and again. What I'm going to ask you to do is go back to your upline or go to another upline and say, I'm really struggling with enrolling. Can you help me? But with practice, you can become a better salesperson and one who is not only more comfortable with the process, but also more effective. So you want to meet people and be able to close the sale. Those are both two things that go hand in hand. And while you may feel more comfortable, quote unquote, supporting your team, your goal in this business is not just to support, it is to stay active, an active enroller and participant in the game. You don't ever, and I've said this on this call before, you don't ever want your team to think that you're just kind of resting on top of them and not doing anything. And that doesn't just include sending them packages or doing things to support them in that way. You need to be enrolling so that they see that you are also active. You can sell doTERRA by communicating the value of the product to potential customers, and you can lead the customer through the buying decision and facilitate a satisfying transaction. A sound sales follow-up strategy can boost your revenues by selling more to existing customers and by getting referrals to new customers. So I think that each one is important. If you have existing customers and they purchase more because of something that you're teaching them, then your volume goes up. And if you get referrals to new customers, again, you're able to enroll more people. So both things are a win-win. Okay, facing failure. What happens when we just totally flunk? And I know for some of you, you're listening to what I'm talking about and you're feeling convicted and you're feeling that I'm talking directly to you. And I'm not talking directly to you. I'm actually talking directly to myself, because I also have faced failure multiple times in this business. And while it may not seem like I have, sometimes I struggle with one thing or another. And the idea of work-life balance can be a myth. Sometimes your work is in balance and sometimes your life is in balance, but they're not always in balance at the same time. And that feeling of I'm struggling or I need help can be real. And I don't want you to feel like there's not someone out here who understands and has gone through the same thing. I've had my ups and downs in my business. I've struggled with leaders who haven't done what they said that they were going to do, with people that signed up on my team and told me I'm going to be the next greatest whatever, and then just completely fizzled. And so the idea that kind of slow and steady wins the race is a really big concept that we have to embrace. So if you're facing failure, I'm going to throw out this kind of what I'm calling the unicorn blend. This is the blend that I need a little bit of magic in my team. I need a little bit of magic in my life. And I have to believe for right now that there's a unicorn coming. And the unicorn is my next big leader that's going to just help me to build and grow. And it's going to be super interested in the business and be able to work independently. So to attract your unicorn, I'm going to give you this blend: 5 drops of grapefruit, 5 drops tangerine, 2 drops spearmint, and 1 drop ylang-ylang. And so why are you using this blend? Again, your citruses and your mint, and then you've got your ylang-ylang, which is kind of that mysterious smell that draws people in, that attracts people to you. So use this blend when you're feeling like, I don't know if I'm getting there, and I want to be able to attract more people. Okay, here's the other one. Release your fears, because sometimes what holds us back really is fear. It's not the action. It's not that we're not good enough. It's not even that we haven't been in this business for a while. We probably have the experience, but our fears have begun to build up over time that we're not able to do this thing. And the only way we're going to knock down fear is to begin to break it down into manageable bites. It's just like losing weight. It's just like reaching a health goal. We need to break it down in smaller chunks so it becomes more manageable. So the Release Your Fears blend, and this has a lot of oils in it: juniper berry, cardamom, black pepper, lime, basil, cedarwood, lemon, and Hawaiian sandalwood. What I love about this one is, again, you've got a little bit of citrus, you've got your lemon and your lime, but you've got a lot of wood oils. Wood oils can be very grounding. What I love also about wood oils is they take us to a place that's more centered, more trustworthy. We feel like this is a place that we can act in integrity. I think one of the things that we find when we are fearful or we are worried about something is that our brain just begins to almost fly away. It gets into this, I don't know what it is, a whirlwind, and I don't know, trying to do whatever we can to push back the fear, but we don't really face the fear and say, okay, is this real or is something my brain has created? So you want to make sure that all those wood oils are helping you to really settle down. Black pepper, why is that in there? Because sometimes fear can be an addiction. We begin to become addicted to fear, and that I can't do it, and I'm so anxiety ridden that I don't know what to do. Cardamom also helps us with our breathing. We begin to breathe more slowly, more rhythmically. And then finally, our juniper berry. Juniper berry can be terrific for cleansing and just for settling the mind. So all of these oils working together, you can see they're kind of woody and a little spicy, and maybe a little bit citrusy, can work to help you to release your fears. And that's what I really have, I wish for you actually this today and after we get off this call. And now finally, follow up. How many touches do you honestly need? So here's simple steps to effectively follow up after a sale. Number 1 is send a note or a thank you. You enroll someone, put pen to paper, send them a text message, send them an email. Some companies send emails, others say it with a card, then close with the invoice. Whatever your method, it's important to say thanks after making a sale as part of making a good experience for your customer. You enrolled someone, they purchased purchase a kit, send them a little note. It's going to make them feel really wanted and loved. Check in. It's a good strategy to call clients a week or two after they enroll and find about how everything is going. Did they get their products? Are they happy with their purchase? Do they have any questions? Don't overdo it. Of course, you don't want to be making them crazy, but you want to make sure that you're touching base with them. Especially avoid trying to make a sale at this stage. Instead, listen to your customers' needs and opinions and try to resolve any issues they might have. And then finally, keep the lines of communication open. Ask your customers for permission to communicate with them. That's when you're going to be adding them to an email list, to a Facebook group, to a texting group, whatever it is that you feel is the best way for you to communicate with your team. And then you're going to send helpful information and advice based on their needs and interests. You're focusing on high value content such as guides, articles, or educational webinars. And this is the phase of consolidating the trust between you and your client. So I hope that those, actually may have one, yes, the gratitude blend. And the gratitude blend is the one that's going to keep you focused, centered, and feeling I'm in the right place. I'm grateful for the people that I know. I'm grateful for the people that are on my team. I'm grateful for my mentors, my upline, my downline, and I get to be in this place, and isn't this wonderful? So a drop of jasmine, or the jasmine, you can pop off the top of the jasmine touch, 2 drops Hawaiian sandalwood, 2 drops bergamot, 1 drop lime, and you're going to add these to 10 milliliters of fractionated coconut oil for aromatic dressing or as a perfume. I realize perfume also has a typo. Sorry, folks. Alternately, add drops to a diffuser. And you're going to be sort of saying something to the effect of, thank you, life, for bringing me all that I need, for filling my life with the gifts of grace, for cocooning me in love. I am so grateful. Okay. Don't forget your wellness box program. When you are stuck and unsure of what to recommend a person, you can actually recommend a wellness box to them. We're going to have all the wellness boxes listed on ElenaJordan.com. And actually the first wellness box is listed there now with a download that you can purchase that describes all of the oils for the month. So June is posted, July should be posted in the next few days, and people can go on there, they can download the information and see how is this going to work for them, and what information can they use to basically help others to build their doTERRA business. Okay, remember, you are amazing. This is not an opportunity for me to pick on you or tell you what you're not doing right. It's really my way of trying to serve you and to pass information on to you that's going to be valuable. This is information that honestly I wish someone had passed on to me. And my goal really is to just try to be a conduit that any information that I'm getting that I feel is useful and that I can share, I'm presenting on this call. Finally, thank you all for being here. I don't ever underestimate the power of this community and the time that you share with me and the time that you're giving me each week and you're giving each other to come together and to listen to the same message and then to go out and take it back to your teams. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Okay, let's stop the share. Okay, let's look at the chat. There's a lot of chats. What's going on, folks? Oh, someone says, okay. Okay, great. A couple of different emails. Great. Thank you. Let me just take a screenshot of these. We'll make sure to add you onto the list. Great. Okay, thank you. Anybody else not getting the emails, make sure that you add your email. Oh, Lisa says she's diffusing the exact blend right now. Can you show the second blend again? Yes, I can. And Shara, can you send the first blend again? Yes. Brain fog blend is 8 drops. Okay, great. Brain fog is the top. Okay. Or did you help each other? Everybody have the blend? Oh, Iris and Caroline. Ooh, a lot of people are not on the email list. Interesting. Okay. Taking screenshots of your emails so that I have them. Oops. Whoa, I have 2 more here. Oops. So many of you, it seems, are not on my email list. I don't know why that is. That's very odd to me. But I guess you're just, I don't know what happened, why so few of you are on. Perhaps you're in a group that I don't usually I don't usually contact. It seems weird. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to get, whoops, 3 more here. So none of you have gotten an email. Okay, so the only thing I am going to mention to you is please check your spam and see if you got something. I received as junk mail. Well, yeah, that's possible. Please do check your junk mail. Okay, everybody. I tried to add everybody in. Mary Ellen, I know that I added you in. Please check your junk mail. Oops. Okay. Wow, a lot. My goodness, it seems like the whole list of you, nobody got it. All right, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just highlight this whole thing if I possibly can. Okay, I think I got you all. Number 2 and number 5 steps. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to share the number 2 and number 5 real fast. Hold on one second. Let me share my screen. Okay, whoops. Okay, step number 2, time blocking. Okay, step number 5, whoops, this is 5, sales. And then I'm going to show all the blends again because there were a lot of questions about the blend. Blend number 1, planning. Blend number 2, brain fog. Blend number 3, thought cleansing. For friendship. Five, unicorn. And finally, 6, release your fears. Now, you all know that this is going to be available on the YouTube channel, right? Okay. So the YouTube channel, this will be posted in the next few days on the YouTube channel, and we're going to, we'll be posting the link to the YouTube channel on the Facebook pages. So don't despair, you're going to get that. And for those of you who just sent me your emails and want to be put on the email list, we're going to be including the link to the YouTube channel on the email. So you should be getting it 2 ways. So start looking around. I'm not posting it today because I actually don't have the I don't have the email, I don't have the correct YouTube page, and I want to make sure that I'm not sending you the wrong one. Okay, whoops. Oh, somebody's cancel. Who's sharing their screen? Okay, there we go. Okay, so thank you everybody for being on today. Our prize today is actually Jasmine. Jasmine Touch Roll-On is our prize today. And our 2 winners are, and I have my pen, and I have my paper. Let's see who our 2 winners are today. Okay, our 2 winners today are Adeline Yap and Iris Rivera. Adeline Yap and Iris Rivera, you are the winners of the Jasmine Roll-On. Congratulations. Thank you so much for being on. Oh, great. Okay. We'll be texting in the chat groups about where you can pick up your prize and how you have to do that. In the meantime, have a wonderful week, everyone. I'm really so happy that I was able to be here with you tonight. And then please join us again for those of you in Asia, it's going to be tomorrow morning. For those of you in the US, it's going to be tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Have a wonderful week, and we'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye now.